Okay, so right off the top, I don't believe a word of that. If you expect me to believe that he was fixated on the wave as this game-defining, season-defining play call comes through the headset, I don't believe it, period. But here's the key. This guy is really good with the media. This guy's really good at being who he is. And I think it's pretty clear any modicum of success that he has here, he's the face of Detroit now. He just is. I mean, Cade Cunningham's dead. We don't have anything with the Red Wings anyone cares about. Not a singular player. They're an improved team. And the Tigers are just eons away from being relevant.
Miggy.
Like I said, Dan Campbell is actually the face of the town. But like when you hear that audio, don't tell me for a second, because in the follow-up to that, he admits they had repped the hell out of that play. They knew it'd be open. Don't tell me that Ben Johnson goes, hey, do you want to call it? Or whatever code language they use. Don't tell me, oh my God, we're throwing. I can't believe that.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, yeah, he's probably just playing to the crowd. But I think that's what makes him the face of Detroit. Because he understands the media. He understands. I mean, Hard Knocks, yeah, he did play it up for the camera, but that's okay because that's his image. And he knows what it is. It's tough guy. It's grit. It's this. I can sell the hats. You know, I can bite the kneecaps. I want a lion to come around here. He's a man's man. He is that guy. And he knows that. He is the face of Detroit because we don't have one. And occasionally, you do get a coach. Most of the time, it's a player.
Yeah.
But occasionally, you can have a coach. You know, Pat Riley, you know, Coach K at Duke. Like, certain times, a coach becomes bigger than the team or bigger than the program.
It's automated. I don't know what happened. Please, carry
David,
on.
go ahead.
I was riveted.
David, go ahead. Now, we're done. Go ahead.
Okay, then. So here's my question. Being straight up, do you believe what he said there? And then part two of this is, has he reached a point where even though he hasn't made the playoffs yet, even though he hasn't won the division, none of it matters? He is the face of sports in this town.
Because he gets it. He understands. He's entertaining. And he's in the entertainment business. He's a coach. But he also knows how to entertain the people. He knows how to give a quote. I mean, we talked about Mike Leach, and he was one of the rare people who just told you how it is. That's kind of Dan Campbell.
But that's not what that is. Listen to this again.
No.
He directly contradicts himself.
Right. Because he realizes where he's at, and he's playing it up for the crowd. That's what he's doing, Mike. On Stoney and Jansen show, he says the total opposite to them. But he knows I'm here. You know what? Let's have some fun with it. And goes out and gets 3 million hits off of this because people just want to see the circus. And he realizes people want to see what I got to say. If he's boring, nobody says anything.
David.
He's joking. This has to be a joke. He knows the crowd that he's on. We all know the Pat McAfee show and what they do. I think he's playing along with that. There's no way. And I don't even think the crowd was doing the wave at the moment. Their Lions are trying to win the game. That didn't even make sense to me. But I will say, and it pains me a little bit because I want a player to be the face of Detroit. But I think Dan Campbell is the face of Detroit.
The closest player that you have is going to be Cade Cunningham.
And now he's out for the year.
He's not playing. He's out for the year. And you know, you'll soon be forgotten. Because now, you know, you hope that he doesn't become that guy that's just constantly hurt. And even when he was playing, like, Campbell has the personality. Cade, I mean, the people on the court respected him, but he didn't have that personality where you knew when he walked in the room, everybody knew who he was.
See, and it's similar to, and I wasn't born there, but I've looked at my history, I've read things. It's kind of like Sparky Anderson. When he got here, of course, they had Trammell, they had, you know, all these players in Gibby, but Sparky Anderson, he entered the room and you knew he was there.
Right.
He was the face of Detroit back then. And that's kind of what Dan Campbell's becoming. Teams were losing, he becomes the face of Detroit. And I want a player, though. But that's just me.
I think you're a long way away from a player.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, though. Look, the Lions are always going to be number one in this town. But it doesn't matter what any other team does. It doesn't. Doesn't matter what the Wings do. Doesn't matter what the Pistons do. I mean, they could be number one in these fleeting championship drives. But day in, day out, the public consciousness cares about the Lions. It's the NFL. Football's our oxygen. So the reality is Dan Campbell, with this personality he has a chance to be legendary in this town. Now, I don't know if he's going to get there. But, yeah.
And until you get a quarterback, I do think that he's the face. Right now, in a close second, probably Aiden Hutchinson is in the beginnings of becoming the face of Detroit.
And he already had the head start of being a local kid.
Right. But Campbell is just willing to go out there and learn. Like, Aiden is slowly coming out of his shell. Like, earlier this year when Michigan State played and he gave the political answer. Well,
Republicans buy sneakers, too.
I hope both teams like me and blah, blah, blah. Whereas Campbell is just like, you know what, whatever. Let me give you a sound bite, and you guys can play it to all the different people.
But, yeah, we can play the sound for you one more time. I have played as many times as we want. But it was just, I listened to it, and I go, all right, it's fun, but this isn't real. Because if it's real, I'm mortified. If it's true that he was distracted and fixated on the crowd doing the wave as Ben Johnson tells him, hey, I'm going to run it. The Penei Sewell play.
The biggest play of the game. Yeah, that's why.
I'm sorry. If that's, I refuse to believe it's real because it would make me hate him. And I don't want to hate him.
It would be everything that I said he was at the beginning of the season. That's why I'm not falling for the cheese. I'm not taking the bait.
And the fact that it's not real, if we believe it's not real, means he's willing to play to the crowd a little bit, which means I think more than people realize, this guy, if they end up turning the trick and getting in, this guy is going to be, you can't be a legend unless you win a title, but this guy's going to be a rock star. And I don't care. As long as you win games, I'll deal with just about anything. Just win games.
I mean, he's everything that Stafford did not want to be.
Oh, please.
No, but think about it. We would beg, hey, can you show some personality? Pizza.
Like, it was just so weak. He could have gone to the organization and could have shaped it and could have demanded more. But you know what he wanted? He wanted to be one of the guys. It's all he ever wanted to be.
Whereas Campbell,
I couldn't stand about him. You're the quarterback. Right. You don't get to be one of the guys.
Right. But that's it. Whereas Campbell looks like the guy that when he comes in the room, everybody wants to know where you going afterwards, Dan, because I'm following you.
Well, and it's very similar to Mike Vrabel. Vrabel does a lot of weird stuff, and he's that football guy. And it works, right? It works in Tennessee. It works for him. Now, the difference is Vrabel has multiple division titles, playoff wins, AFC title game. Like, there does come a price with this. But I just listened to that audio, and I go, he's playing to the crowd.
No.
There's no way that's real.
No. Trust me. The price is, and we've seen it locally, when you're up there, everybody loves that coach. But when you start losing, everything that you did to get you there is the thing that people are going to hate.
I'll have David bump back with the audio. It's on the Pat McAfee Show. You tell me whether you believe it or not. And then I want to know whether you believe what we're saying, which is whether you like it or not, whether you think it's deserved or not, Dan Campbell is the face of sports in this town.